My name is Bridget Rose, and I'm the director of the Academic Success Center. I've been teaching first-year students here at Samford since 2002, and I'd like to highlight a few of the academic resources that are available through our office. But first, let me give you a quick reminder about FERPA. Even though the students are asked to indicate their consent to share their academic record with a parent or guardian as part of the orientation communication flow, it actually does not give parents access to log into Banner, log into Canvas, or other online resources that are available and password protected for students. So if you do have questions about this, please check out the registrar's webpage or contact the registrar's office directly with any questions you have. So in terms of resources, the Academic Success Center has existed since 2009. It was a reorganization and an expansion of our Office of Freshman Life. You can see our mission statement here. And for today's purposes, I think there are three main areas that we provide support that may be of interest to you. We seek to enhance the first-year experience. We do try to provide academic resources and opportunities for first-year students as well as all Samford students. And then also we're here to support the advising and registration process. So first, let me emphasize our first-year experience course, Foundations 101. It's really at the heart of what we do. It's the first-year experience course here at Samford, and it's taught by faculty and professional staff from across campus. There are three main objectives that the course has. You can see those there on the screen, but most importantly, I think Foundations is the way that students in a low-stress academic environment can make those connections that really are essential to laying that foundation to be successful during their college years. And we have seen some studies here at Samford that correlate success in Foundations with a positive higher GPA as well as a retention rate. So we do hope that your students will take advantage of that opportunity to enroll in this course and make a strong start here at Samford during their first semester. Another area that we provide a lot of resource is academic support for our conditionally admitted students or any other students who feel like they need or want some enhanced support through our Samford Success Program. And this might include a more in-depth schedule review just to ensure the students are in classes that they feel good about, in classes that are meeting their academic goals, in classes that put them in the best position to be successful moving forward. We work closely with the students' academic advisors to communicate all of those goals and opportunities clearly to students. We also, for some students, get more regular feedback. One of the hard transitions from high school to college is that students sometimes do not get the amount and level of feedback they're used to in high school. They might go weeks in between getting really significant feedback on assignments that they've done. So for students that are part of our success program and other populations on campus, we do reach out to faculty and try to get a little more regular feedback on the students' academic progress just to ensure they're on track to be successful that semester. We also provide limited spots for academic coaching. That can be a weekly or every 2-week one-on-one meeting with a member of our office staff or one of our upperclassmen peer mentors, just to provide that accountability and encouragement that students need to be successful. Although we don't have centralized tutoring on campus, our office does maintain a list of the free weekly tutoring that's available either through departments or directly through our office. There's tutoring in some of our traditionally high-risk STEM courses like biology and chemistry and math. Our Communication Resource Center provides support for students in writing and public speaking and also critical reading. And then we also maintain a list of private tutors where students can search this list and find someone to help them in a variety of other subjects. But really the most important thing a student can do is contact us. We provide academic consultations for any student who would like to sit down, talk about their academic goals, let us help them identify resources that they need to meet those goals and to be successful. We can also help students develop skills related to time management and also identify other campus resources that might be of use to them. In addition to the resources for support that we offer in terms of their coursework and their specific academic goals, we also try to help connect and promote academic opportunities for students, particularly outside of the classroom or in addition to their curricular requirements. One of the really exciting opportunities that my office is part of is we have advisory oversight for Alpha Lambda Delta, which are our Freshman Honor Society. Each fall, we induct the top 20% of that semester's freshman class in terms of earned GPA. And we work to develop leadership opportunities. There are national and chapter scholarship opportunities for those students, and a lot of ways that students can get connected and find ways to enrich their academic experience, even by just connecting and networking with other high-achieving students. We also recruit and work with peer mentors, upperclassmen who not only serve in Foundations, our first-year experience course, to help mentor those students, but also peer mentors who serve in a variety of other roles to support first-year students or students who are just looking to make that connection with an upperclassman and have that extra opportunity to engage. And then finally, our office works with a variety of campus partners to sponsor cadres and promote academic success and campus engagement in a variety of different ways, both in and out of the classroom. In addition to the first-year experience and some of these specific academic resources that we provide, we also work very closely with the admissions staff, with the registrar's office, and with advisors to support our advising and registration process. And I thought it might be a little bit helpful to explain to you how that has worked this year. Whether we're on campus or virtual, this is some of the most important work that my office does each year. And this year is no exception. So the first thing that has happened is advisors from the student's selected major have reviewed their academic background, they have reviewed their pre-orientation advising survey, they've looked at their own program requirements, and they've developed a schedule for each individual student prior to orientation. As part of orientation, advisors are going to have an opportunity to share that schedule with students. Many of them will be offering one-on-one or small group appointments where students can ask questions and get feedback and walk through that together. And then after orientation sessions have concluded sometime in July, the students will have the opportunity to access that schedule, make any refinements or adjustments that they need. Of course, we just always recommend that they check with their advisor first before they change any courses on their schedule. Some things that are common that actually makes this kind of easy for us to to develop these schedules is that there is a common experience for most of our Samford freshmen. We do have a university core curriculum that's 22 credit hours, and particular to the freshman year is the Cultural Perspectives and Communication Arts sequence. And you've probably heard more about them already. You may have already heard that those are courses that students take here at Samford. They typically do not meet those requirements through transfer credit of any sort. Now, we do have students who might place directly into CA 102 or meet CA 101 requirements through dual enrollment or AP scores, and we do often have some questions about what those requirements are. So I'm going to list those there on the screen and draw a red box around it just by way of reminder so you can see those criteria where a student might progress on directly to CA 102. We are going to have a lot of resources across campus and through my office for students that are in these core classes. It's just such an important part of that freshman year experience. But the main advice I give you and I give students when they look over their schedule and meet with their advisor is to ensure that if they meet one of these eligibility requirements to progress to CA 102, that they do let their advisor know. That's a way they can help ensure that we're serving them correctly. So a lot of what I've talked about has centered on the student experience, and honestly, if you contact our office at any time to ask me about any of these things, probably the message I'm going to give you is to encourage your student to contact us. But there are certainly ways that you as parents can support students and help them be successful in their first year. And just a quick list that we came up with to recommend. One, know the courses that your student are taking in his or her daily schedule and remind them to go to class. Sometimes I feel like that's one of the most obvious things I say, but it's also one of the most important. In fact, it's so important that the president let us put his face on a t-shirt. He used to joke about the importance of telling students to go to class, and we would tell him, hey, that's our line. And so he let us put this on a shirt. Students that work with our office and come stop by and see us, we often look for opportunities to give out what has become a really highly collectible commodity on campus. So it is a good reminder of one of the most important things that can lead to success, and we do hope you will work with us to encourage class attendance. Another thing you can do is ask students to show you their syllabi from their courses. Sometimes students don't realize the amount of important information that's housed there. Sometimes we'll hear from students or from parents who are asking particular questions about a class, and often the first thing we'll say is, what does the syllabus say? And so that's just a way you can reinforce to students the importance of that document and the location of a lot of information that they need to know. You can also encourage your students to speak to their instructors and to utilize their office hours. I actually heard last year that a student thought that professor's office hours meant that the professor was in his or her office and that students were not supposed to come by. So I think we fall into a trap sometimes here on campus, those of us that have been around for a while, into forgetting that a lot of the words and phrases that we use are not familiar to students. So in addition to educating them on the importance of class attendance, on their syllabi, on utilizing office hours, you can also remind them that Canvas, which is our learning management system, has a variety of resources both for in-person and online use. So that's another resource that you can help us promote to students, or if they're wondering something, ask them if they have checked Canvas. Another great tool that's online and available is DegreeWorks, and that's another opportunity for you to sit down with the student, look at their degree requirements. It has a great GPA calculator that they can use, and it's really a resource that we encourage students to be familiar with, and you might want to be familiar with as well. And then be familiar with the academic calendar. There are certainly dates and deadlines that are going to be as relevant to you as they are to the student. Dates that grades post, dates that the university is closed and that classes don't meet, the dates of final exam, the dates payments are due. You can find all of those on the academic calendar, and that can be helpful if you're familiar with that and make your student familiar with that as well. And then finally, the most important, and if I had only been able to put one thing on the slide, I would have put this last bullet point, and that is encourage your students to contact us if they have questions, if they have concerns, if they just don't know who to talk to. My expectation for myself and for my staff is if we're not able to answer a question or deliver a resource that the student has, we make it our job to connect them with the person or the office who can. So I'll put my contact information up here for you to see, and I just want to call your attention to the fact that throughout this summer, throughout the fall and the full academic year, we're available in person, online. We try to maintain a presence on social media, keep up-to-date information on our website, and we hope you will let us be a resource for your students to encourage their academic success here at Samford. Again, welcome, and we're looking forward to meeting your students in the fall.
Hi, I'm Katie Goodgame, Director of Disability Resources, and it's a pleasure to get to speak with you today. I have a lot of valuable information that I want to share with you, and it's a lot of information for a student that may have a chronic condition or a disability that may need accommodations and access to our campus. There is a lot of information on our website, and I do want you to check that out. That is at samford.edu/disability resources. But I'm going to share some information in the process and the steps of what we do today. So I'm excited to share this. I love our program. I love working with students who have chronic disabilities and conditions and making sure that they're having access to their classes and to their activities and to their getting into their dorm room and any other programs on campus. It is some steps involved. I do want to share first just that we do maintain confidentiality in regard to a student's condition or symptoms. That is very important, and it is never put or placed on their academic transcript if a student is registered with Disability Resources. All that being said, first of all, we provide services and accommodations. So the first step, if a student has a chronic condition, disability, and is interested in pursuing and requesting accommodations for their classes, they would need to go to our website and fill out the application. It's not difficult. It's real easy. It's very simple to do. And it's submitted electronically. You also can submit your documentation, upload it at this point in the application, or the formal documentation can be sent to our program via disability@samford.edu or faxed. So you may wonder why we need that. Just the formal documentation will help us to provide the best accommodations to serve your son or daughter. We do accept documentation from a medical provider, counselor, evaluator, specialist, 504 plans, IEPs. The next step, after we receive a student's application, we will contact the student for an accommodation plan. And this is just the opportunity for us to get to know your student, get to know what their concerns are, what they're requesting, what their accommodation needs are. We enjoy this the most, trying to find out how best to serve your student and provide the accommodations that they need. This is an interactive process, and once this is completed, then we'll set up an accommodation meeting. And I know this seems like a lot, but accommodation meeting is the best part because the student gets to learn how to use our DR online system, how to request their note takers, to requesting test proctoring, and this especially is to send their eligibility letter of accommodations to the professors. I want to mention that we do provide guidance for students on this step. The students may be concerned about talking to the faculty member, the professor, instructor, not sure what to say on asking for accommodations. These instructors receive a lot of eligibility letters from students in our office, so they're not surprised when they get one. The letters do not share any information about a student's condition, symptoms, why they're registered in our program. So it's just going to list the accommodations that they have been approved for, and the student can meet with the professor in their office in a private setting to discuss, hey, I just want to make sure I'm getting my extended time, or want to make sure I can use my assistive technology in class, those kind of things. But we will help them, guide them. We also provide help to the faculty member on providing assistance to if they're not sure how to provide a certain accommodation. And the professor is not going to ask questions to us of why the student needs these accommodations. A student can share their information. They can disclose whatever they want to if they want to the professor to why they are asking for that accommodation, but they don't have to. Once this has all been completed, we do work with the students on making arrangements for help and collaborating with other resources on campus, for whether it be tutoring or the Writing Center. We collaborate with Academic Success Center, with housing, to also Office of Spiritual Life, and with the care team. So we do want to make sure, and counseling services, we do want to make sure that they are getting the resources they need. We are a good place to just discuss this if they don't know where to go. We want to help them be getting access to all their classes, activities, dorm rooms, those kind of things. If you would, again, go to our contact page, our information, and go to samford.edu/disability resources, and there is just a wealth of information there that you can see on accessing the application, documentation guidelines, FAQs, to all the different kind of services that we provide to students. Please, if you have any questions or just curious, want some information, just email us at disability@samford.edu. We'll be more than happy to, work with you, work with the student, and getting things set up when they get to campus. So looking forward to working with your son or daughter when they get here. We're so happy that they have chosen Samford. Thank you.
Good morning or afternoon. My name is Dora Ditchfield. I'm the director of the Career Development Center. I've had the privilege of working with Samford students and alumni and employers since 2016. Prior to that, I worked at several other public and private universities and was actually a corporate recruiter, so I used to hire students from Samford and other locations. I am so excited that you have tuned in to this portion of the Bulldog days, and really glad because I think there's a lot of misconceptions among students about the Career Development Center, and I know that you are the ones that can hopefully help them dispel those myths. One myth that I think we see is sometimes students think that the Career Development Center is just for seniors. Let me wait until I'm a senior, then I'll go talk to the Career Development Center, and that could not be further from the truth. The other misconception I think that can exist with some students is, well, if I go to the Career Development Center, they're going to make me do something that I don't want to do. Maybe they are leaning towards the humanities and they think we're going to make them be a business major or vice versa. So if I had to summarize in one sentence what we do in the Career Development Center is we are here to help students figure out what it is they want to do and get there. We are not here to try to make them do something they don't want to do. We want to help them discover what it is they want to do and then be successful, prepared, and successful in pursuing that passion. So if I had to divide them up in the different areas we help students, the first one would be deciding. So this is typically what we do with freshmen and sophomores, deciding what major do I want to be? Am I in the right major? Sometimes students come in, they think they want to do a particular major, they've thought about it for a number of years, they take that first class or they try another class that they didn't know existed, a different subject, and they realize, you know what, I think this isn't what I want to do. Maybe they thought about their whole life and so they're a little discombobulated because they don't know what it is that they want to do. So we're here to help them make those decisions. A part of that decision-making process and also a part of some other decision-making processes is exploring. So we help them decide, and we do that through help them explore their different options. And there are a variety of ways we do that depending on the student. We customize our appointments based on each student's needs and where they are in this decision-making process. So part of that exploring could be some career assessments. We have several that we give to students, extremely helpful. We have some amazing staff in our office that really specialize in that particular aspect. Now, when we give an assessment, we don't just give it to them, email it, and then never talk to them about it. We require an appointment to interpret that assessment, to talk about what are the next steps from what they learned in that assessment about themselves. So there's that counseling piece that goes along with the assessment. It's only effective if they go hand in hand, and we're really passionate about that. And then some of those next steps could be research. So maybe they're thinking about a major or they've decided a major, but they don't know what they can do with that major. Maybe they know they want to do psychology or history or fill in the blank, but they're not sure exactly what they're going to do. We can really help them research through some connections and all sorts of resources that we've created in-house as well as externally that we subscribe to. So deciding, exploring, now that deciding typically, again, freshman or sophomore year, that exploring, that honestly can go all the way through the senior year. Occasionally we'll get that student who knows that they love their major, but they really haven't thought it through as soon as we wish they would have as far as what they want to do with it. So we'll work with them all the way through. The other area that we work with is getting experience. So it's wonderful to be in a major that you love, pursuing a field that you want to love, but it's really good to confirm that you're in the right field and get that experience so when you finish Samford with that degree, that you are ready and qualified and marketable to actually start working in that degree. So getting experience could be shadowing. We talk to students all the time and maybe they have an idea in their head what a particular job entails. They've seen it on TV, maybe they've researched it through our office or on their own, but then how can they actually talk to people who are in that field? It's a whole another level of learning if you get to speak to somebody who does it regularly. So you speak to them and then can you shadow them? So informational interviews is talking to alumni, talking to other people in the field, and then being with them perhaps at work. And that's part of the connecting, which is our next way that we help them. There's the connecting, there's the experience. They really go hand in hand because they both happen sometimes simultaneously. Part-time work, we help students with that. We have something called Hire Samford, which is our online job board. For parents, we would love for you to post positions on that as well. It's a great way to hire Samford students for part-time work internships, and full-time jobs. So getting experience, another way to get experience is internships. We help students find internships both here in Birmingham, where they're from, if they're going home for the summer. And then we also have two wonderful programs at Samford. There is our Daniel House program with our Global Engagement Office, which has internships in London. And then we help sponsor, through our office, work with something called the Washington Center, which is a great way to intern in DC. You can go to Samford in DC to see a video about that and some of our students who have interned there. Wonderful experience. When I was a corporate recruiter, if I had a student that I was looking at, a resume of a new graduate, maybe a perfect GPA, but no work experience, no part-time experience, no internship experience, or maybe somebody with a solid GPA, but lots of experience, whether it's work, off-campus, on-campus, internship work, I naturally gravitated towards that person who had that experience because I could do reference checks on them. I knew that they had an idea of what it was like to work at an organization or a business. So I encourage you to encourage your students to do that. There was a survey a number of years ago about freshmen, and there's sometimes I think a misconception, and it depends on the student, that if students work, they can't work and balance their GPA. And there's a study that showed freshmen that worked 10 hours a week actually did better academically than those that did not work at all. Again, it depends on each student, but it helps them manage their time, structure their time, and if they work on campus, they connect to the university in different ways, which I think is very beneficial. So we have the deciding, exploring, gaining experience, connecting. We talked about the mock interview or the informational interviews, the networking, and then preparing. So, of course, internships are preparing also, but when I say preparing, I think more of the resumes, the cover letters, the mock interviews. Those are areas that we help a lot with students. We do a survey every semester of students who've met with us during the semester, and we get so much feedback from students that says the mock internship cut down my nerves, it helped me get the job, or I'm so thrilled with my resume. Students can do everything right at Samford. They can get the work experience, they can be a leader, they can have the great GPA, but if it's not articulated well on their resume, it's not going to help them as it should. And again, this is me speaking from the career development side and the recruiting side. So the resume gets them the interview, and then the interview gets them the job. So they're two really critical parts of that process. And we will meet with the student as many times as they need to. So if they want to work with us choosing a major and then finding an internship and then a mock interview and the resume again, that is absolutely fine. And then finally, life beyond college. That would be graduate school, job search. All these flow. I'm trying to go from freshman to senior year. So graduate school applications, what's that process? We talk to students about the different tests they need to take, about those statements, those professional statements they need for graduate school. Again, the mock interviews, the job search. So we really cover everything. And one wonderful thing about Samford that really can't be said for a lot of the larger universities and just other schools is that we will work with students and alumni indefinitely. So a student may need 5 years later a career transition. They want to come back and refresh their resume. We'll work with them then as well. And our hope is that as we educate students as an undergraduate student, that they are learning those skills that they will carry on with them through the rest of their life. So that's a brief summary about what we do. You can see our staff that we have. Once school's in session, the best way for students to make an appointment is to give our office a call, and we'll get them scheduled with the correct counselor based on what they are needing assistance with. And we love working with students. We're friendly people, and we really hope that if they call, your son or daughter calls you, and you can tell that they're really struggling with any of these areas about what they want to do, what they want to major in, please refer them to us. Please encourage them to come see us, and we will be thrilled to help them. So thank you so much.